Okay, welcome to this week's Multifamily Sales Pulse. This is the only publication tracking the markets this closely. We see trends before they're reported anywhere else, so please check in and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, Mike's Multifamily Minutes, so you never miss a video. And make sure you visit our website for the full report. Okay, let's start off with Orange County multifamily closed sales. There were 7 closed sales last week. That's a bit of a low number for Orange County. Usually its averages around 12 to 16 closed sales per week. The closed sales average days on market was just 11 days, extremely low. All of the last week's closed sales were on the market for 24 days or less. So a real tight market in Orange County for inventory if you're looking for to pick up a property. There were 4 transactions that closed at or above the asking price. And if we look at the overall trends for days on market, there over the last 3 months, we've seen fewer days on market. And the trend, as you can see, is been dropping, and overall, even over the last 6 months, we've seen quite a bit of a drop in days on market. One sale of note, there was a fourplex that sold on England Street in Huntington Beach, and that one was a fourplex located at 2620 England Street. Was on the market for $1,850,000, ended up selling for $1,830,000, and it was only on the market for a total of 5 days. The bedrooms and bath, they were all 2-bedroom, 1 baths. There was a little bit of room for a rent increase. The pro forma was rated at $2,000, which there was a couple of the units were already receiving the $2,000 a month rent, and there was one here at $1,760 and another one at $1,800 that could see a little bit of an increase. The listing inventory for Orange County right now, we saw 11 new listings last week, and that brought the total number of active listings to 148. That's the first time that we've seen the total number of active listings below 150 for a couple of months. Months of inventory remained at 4 months. Okay, let's take a look at Long Beach. Long Beach last week had 14 closed sales. This is about average for weekly closed sales for Long Beach. And the closed sales average days on market was 42 days. As you can see by looking at the 3-year trend for average days to sell, the normal is about in the 30s to 40s, somewhere in there. So 42 days we've been seeing is about average for Long Beach. All right, one sale of note was a fourplex on San Antonio Drive. It was listed for $1,649,000. It sold for $1.6 million. A nice area, desirable area near Bixby Knolls. And what we have for bedrooms and baths is we had 1 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 3 2-bedroom, 2-bath units. Those were actually 2-bedroom, 1.5 baths. And the mix of that is typical for what's called a Covington style fourplex built throughout Orange County in the 1960s, where we saw the owner living in the front unit and renting out the 3 units in the rear. The rents are a little on the low side. They could have been increased by anywhere from 10 to 15% for mainly the 2 bedrooms. At 1910, you could have raised those up to $23.95, and the pro forma for the 3-bedroom was $28.95. Actually, it was at $22.95 currently. Okay, looking back at the Long Beach listing inventory, there was 8 new listings last week. Overall, inventory levels stayed below 100 again, with 96 total active listings, and months of inventory remained at 5 months. Okay, let's take a look at Los Angeles County multifamily closed sales last week. We had 80 closed sales. That is a little on the low side for Los Angeles County. Typically, they run closer to 100, maybe even over 100 sometimes. The 40 of the 80 closed sales last week were duplexes. The closed sales average days on market was just 34 days, and the this is about average. And most of the last week's closed sales occurred in 20 days or less. So if you have a property on the market for more than 20 days in LA County, and you've probably priced it too high if it hasn't sold yet. That's and 43 out of the 80 closed sales sold at or above asking price. That's just about half of all the closed sales at or above asking price. LA County has a trend now for the number of closed sales. You can see the trend has increased 4 out of the last 5 months. And the days to sell average has seen a significant drop since December of 2020. Been dropping steadily downward since last year. And the total number of active listings has been pretty steady during that same time, almost a flat line. The listing inventory stats were pretty typical for Los Angeles County. We had 147 new listings last week. Months of inventory remained the same, and the total number of active listings was below 1,800. It usually bumps right around 1,800, plus or minus. So we're at 1,787. That is about normal for Los Angeles County. Okay, looking at San Diego County sales last week, we had 16 closed sales, and that is about average for San Diego County. And 10 of the 16 closed sales last week were duplexes. A lot of duplex sales throughout Southern California. The closed sale average days on market was just 14 days, which was the same for the prior week. Last week it was 14 days also. Half of last week's closed sales sold in less than 8 days. Tight market in San Diego. The days to sell average in San Diego has been on a downward trend since about May of 2020. So looking back here, May of 2020, it's been kind of downward here at the end over the last few weeks, or few months, sorry. Okay, San Diego County, there's one sale of note. There was a fourplex on Acacia Avenue in La Mesa. Was listed originally for $1,250,000. It ended up selling at $1,450,000. So a significant increase in price, $200,000. Okay, based on the photos, the property looked like it was in average condition. Basic, no modernization, just good shape, average condition, and no granite countertops, that type of a thing. Carpets and paint looked average, normal for a small apartment building. The units, they were all 2-bedroom, 1-bath units, and there was probably an upside of about $300 per unit in rent. So you got 1,575, and market rent was 1,900. Here's a couple at 1,600 and another one at 1,640. So there's about a $300 a month increase that could be obtained. All right, looking at the listing inventory for San Diego County, there was 24 new listings last week. This is about normal for San Diego County. And the total inventory dropped down below 200 listings after being there for 4 out of the last 5 weeks above 200 listings. The months of inventory remained at 15 months. All right, let's take a look at Riverside County. Riverside County had only 3 closed sales last week. That's probably an all-time low for weekly closed sales for Riverside County. The previous low was 4 closed sales 4 weeks ago. And the trend of number of sales, as you can see, had been increasing for the prior 4 months. But it was significantly down last month, down to 35, approximately 12 different or to 12 closed sales less. This is most likely from the fact that San Bernardino County and Riverside County have the lowest apartment vacancy in the U.S. There's a projection that strong demand will fuel a double-digit rent growth of 11.4%. So more than likely what's happening is a lot of the owners in Riverside, San Bernardino County aren't selling because their rents are increasing and the vacancy factor is so low. As far as inventory last week, we have 9 new listings last week, and the total number of active listings actually increased to 109. Months of inventory remain the same at 3 months. Okay, let's take a look at San Bernardino County. San Bernardino County had 8 closed sales last week. This is a little on the low side for weekly closed sales for San Bernardino County. The last 5 months, we've seen an up and down market for total number of sales. Looking at the 3-year trend, you can see it's been up and down. There was a strong month in March, and then dropping or up and down, even up and down prior to that. The 22 in May of 2020 was when we had the start of the coronavirus and the lockdowns, so there was a decrease just about everywhere. The closed sales average days on market was 29 days. The trend on the average days on market, as you can see, days to sell average, has been trending down for 4 of the last 5 months. It's been dropping. Again, strong demand. There were 16 new listings last week, and the total number of active listings remained in between 140 to 150, with 149 active listings, and months of inventory remained at 9 months. Okay, so to wrap things up, that's it for this week's multifamily sales pulse. The overall trends of low inventory and short days on market look like they're going to continue for at least the short term here through the summer and maybe into towards the end of the year. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email with any questions that you might have regarding this week's sales pulse or even the market in general. If you're looking at acquiring some more units or even selling a property that you currently own, maybe upgrading your location, increasing your cash flow, number of units, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. So tune in next week for a breakdown of the sales and stats from the prior week. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mike's Multifamily Minutes, so you never miss a video. See you next week.